And I fired Mike McCarthy because he looks like a fucking pork chop. And I hate that big-ass play call sheet he holds during games. We all know it's a Perkins menu. I'm not even sure we need a coach. Hell, maybe we already have a coach in mind. Maybe he's sitting right in front of you, half drunk on Johnny Walker Blue with only an Egg McMuffin in his belly and a pocket full of Dinger pills. Maybe he's 82 fucking years old and needs his ass wiped from time to time, depending on how much Salisbury steak he's ate. Look, I'm going to do things my way, and my way is fucking terrible. But if you don't like it, then tough titty said the kitty, but the milk kept coming. Listen, I'm never going to die, motherfuckers. I drink 8 ounces of hog's blood every day, and I'm a vampire feeding off mass disappointment. So learn how to accept meaningless primetime games forever. What I'm looking for in our next head coach is someone that values analytics and also someone that lets me take he and his wife to a Hojo's and sit in the cuck chair.
Wow, that's too funny. That is too funny. Good evening, everybody. I was bored. Yes, I was bored, everybody. I was bored. What am I to do? If I'm bored, I'm going to live stream, right? That's what's going to happen. Live stream with my people, with other bored people. I did put the channel link for all channel members in the community tab if you want to join the show. But yes, I did feel like doing a video. We're gonna cover a lot of ground. There's Randy. There's my guy. There's one of my favorite people that's coming in here now. So Randy must be bored just like me.
Well, this time of the night, I don't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I was off today and I had to go to a doctor's appointment. I almost did it, people. I was about 20 minutes from. It was a last minute, but it was freezing out. But I had to go to a specialist appointment up near Mount Laurel. If anybody knows where Mount Laurel is, it's right near the NFL Films in New Jersey. That's where the NFL Films, you could do a tour and all. I was thinking about it. I was really thinking about heading over there and paying the money and doing it, but it was cold out there, and I'm like, let me get home. So maybe another time, but I almost did a tour of the NFL Films. It's not what it used to be, that I could tell you. But, I felt like doing a live stream tonight to talk about a few things. I only got a chance to do one little video today, so I'm like, everybody's always saying, go live, go live. So we'll go live if I got some time, which I do. So how was everybody doing this evening? How you doing, Randy? How you doing, Asia?
Good. You?
I'm okay. It just snowed here, so I think it's done. Maybe an inch or two outside, but it's kind of miserable and cold here. It's kind of depressing, to be honest with you. But we got Mark Hutchinson's not a pizza guy, so you would say, nah, I'm lactose intolerant. Dwayne Sweetney, what's going on? Vinny Hagen, my man Manahawkin. He knows we're NFL Films in. What's up, Chris Johnson? What's going on? EJB's in the house. We got Susanna from the Philippines hanging out. Andre Mosley, game time. Tell your friend, the Washington Commander guy, that he's going to lose. Andre, I think I'm hoping that they're going to lose. What's up, Jimbo? You got Daniel M. You got Michael Dana. Anybody else I forgot? Just yell at me. I see Isaac Ramirez is hanging out with us. I think that's everybody, but if not, yell at me. Yeah, I was just looking at the Athletic, Randy. We could go over that. Since I didn't know if I'd have anybody in the Zoom call, so I was prepared to share some video and what they talked about on 105.3 The Fan. But since we could talk about it. Bobby Belt. See, I don't know if you guys are looking on your phone, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I could play it, but it's fine. Bobby Belt came out and he recounted And I like Bobby. I think he knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little annoyed with that station because they're beholden to the Cowboys, right? I mean,
Yes, they can't always say what they want to
I
say.
used to listen to Norm Hitchcock all the time, believe it or not, even here on
Mm-hmm.
different apps. And he was on the Ticket. And the Ticket, it's a smaller radio station now. They used to be the voice of the Cowboys, but now they seem to be the channel that's hitting it and keeping on it. Yeah, keeping things honest. That's the channel that Aikman goes on once a week. And let me see if I can find it, and I'll share that. Let me see. Did you see it? I'm gonna share the Lol Nation. Um,
Brian,
yeah. Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
I just want to say rest in peace to Bob Uecker.
Yeah, Bob Euchre. Definitely.
Morning, Troy.
All right, I'm going to share this. So you guys, hopefully you guys can hear this, all right? Well, I'm not going to, I'll just play it. Can you hear it, or do you want to see it, Randy?
No, just go ahead and play it.
All right.
Good morning,
We can
George.
comment throughout.
Well,
if you
since we
want.
talked last, Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones and their conversations, at some point it went sideways, and now the Cowboys are looking for a new head coach. The opinion of McCarthy around the league, maybe we get an early sign of it in the fact that he's already interviewed in Chicago. I get
Brian,
the
I'm not
feeling it
hearing
wouldn't
nothing.
surprise you if he's back.
You can't hear it? Are you on your cell phone?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, then you won't.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because you're on the Zoom call. So
Okay, I got you.
That's probably why. But they can hear. You guys can hear it at home, right? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can see and hear. It's on my screen.
you know
too.
what? I'm going to get on my TV.
Yeah, yeah. If you haven't heard this, it's about 10 minutes long. We could comment. I could stop it throughout. It's definitely something that we should you should listen to, because it really does give you an insight of what people think about our organization. Let me know when you're ready, Randy.
Go ahead.
All right.
With somebody else next year as a head coach.
No, no, it would not at all. I'd be a little surprised if he doesn't get the opportunity. I think that. Well, I don't think. I mean, I know that around the league, he's highly thought of, highly regarded as far as what he's done as a head coach, and I think for those around the league, I think looking at what he was able to do in Dallas in general, I think is looked upon as favorable when you consider the number of games that he was able to win. Now, I mean, we all understand that ultimately we're judged on what we do in the postseason, and Mike understands that better than anyone. So, that was the only shortfall, and obviously that's why he's not back in Dallas. But yeah, I'd kind of expect him to land one of these jobs, and I'm hoping he does. He wants to continue to coach, and I think he's one of the top 32 in the league, and should get that opportunity.
So there are a lot of names now out there as to who might replace McCarthy.
Now, before we continue, Randy, I'm not gonna show the Bobby Belt video, but Bobby, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a video on it and mix all this together for just a video. But yeah, Vinny, I'm gonna play the rest of it, buddy. We got another 10 minutes of it, but basically what Bobby Belt said, this goes back to, remember the COVID year, Randy, where McCarthy would make a lot of excuses regarding why they weren't, he was making excuses. And don't get me wrong, it was very tough for everybody, let alone trying to run a football organization. It was very, very tough, Everything was a Zoom meeting. He was a new coach coming into a new team, but he was using that as excuse a lot. And, I don't want to give too much away, but there was a lot with him and Dak with the offense. I will do a video on it tomorrow, just to let everybody know. I'll probably wake up and do a video on it, so I don't want to cover that too much. But Bobby Belt, if you want to go check it out, they clipped it on 105.3 The Fans YouTube page. It's like a 13-minute video, maybe a little longer. But he basically talks about all the things, how bad the building was when they brought Dan Quinn in. You remember when McCarthy... it brought in all of his buddies, you know. You remember the old coach from Green Bay? I think he took over for McCarthy, maybe. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Bobby. I'll go back and write it down, brother. I can't think of the offensive line coach. Do you remember his name? Remember his son drowned and died?
Oh, heck, I
But
know
you know
his
what I'm
name.
talking about. He was the
Yeah,
coach
I know
of the
exactly
Dolphins.
who you're talking about. Yes.
He was not on board with Connor McGovern, which fine. I don't have a problem with that. He was not on board with Tyler Smith. He hated the Tyler Smith pick. What's up, Leo? How are you? So there was a lot going on behind the scenes. And my problem with 105.3 The Fan, listen, I get it. They work for the team, basically. The team, you paid a fee to cover their games. You can't say certain things. Once you do that, it's great because you get all this exposure. You got guys like me walking my mail route, listening to 105.3 The Fan during the day. That's great. But the bad part is you hear things, you can't report it. You know, but because of that, they're going to tell, these insiders are going to tell you things knowing you can't report it because you can't report it. I don't blame them for not dropping a dime. The whole Amari Cooper thing, that was all Mike McCarthy, supposedly. And like I said, tomorrow morning, I'll do my video from here and because I'm off again, and I'm going to incorporate all of that. So just stay tuned for that. But basically, the Cliff Notes is Amari Cooper was an aloof guy and hardly ever practiced, and McCarthy didn't like that. McCarthy's like, oh, well, you show up at the games, but you can't show up to practice. There was a lot going on, but supposedly Mike McCarthy never wanted to give up the play calling. Him and Kellen Moore did not get along. Kellen Moore's a nice guy. You can say whatever you want. He's a nice guy. But Mike McCarthy had a problem with, and I'm jumping around, but Mike McCarthy had a problem with Dan Quinn. They got along. It wasn't personal, but he didn't like looking over his shoulder. He took the job knowing Kellen had led the league in offense the year before and was not calling the plays, but yet trying to put his footprint on the game plan literally every week. It's like having too many hands in a cookie jar, So we'll get to that tomorrow as far as Kellen Moore. I'm on record. I don't want Kellen Moore. I think he could work.
I don't either.
I think he could work under the right circumstances, but I'm just laying you the groundwork. Troy doesn't know any of this. So when I finish playing the Troy, I'll leave this tonight with just this Troy video. But there was a lot going on, the insider, like the Tom Pelissero, he's very good, close friends with Mike McCarthy, as well as Jay Glazer. So things happen, things are leaked. If it's from Tom Pelissero, just like Tom Pelissero reached out to the Bears. Well, McCarthy, in my opinion, is going to be the Bears head coach. That's just my opinion.
Me too.
But who the hell knows? But let's listen to it. But just stay tuned tomorrow for the video. I think I'm going to cover this whole saga. But this is just a little bit of the Cliff Notes here. But we are going to listen to the Aikman video. Listen to what Aikman says. It's a long video, so I'll stop it here or there, and we can conversate.
Jerry apparently has already talked to Deion.
Oh, okay.
He's going to interview
I'm
Saleh
with you
and Frazier.
So whoever hasn't heard
You've seen the names on the odds chart from Ben Johnson to Steve Sarkisian to Joe Brady to Kellen Moore. Any of these names float your boat that you think would be a great fit?
Yeah, it's just, I said it on Monday night when I was on ESPN. I think what maybe is a good fit some places isn't a good fit here. It's a challenging job for a lot of reasons, and none of which you all haven't heard before. So, who might be best is really anybody's guess. It's just, I don't know. It's, a lot of people have been hired, a lot of people have been fired, and the results for the most part have kind of been the same. I just go back to it's just hiring and firing head coaches and expecting that to be what changes the direction or the outcomes, the results. I think is a little bit naive. So we'll see. It's anybody's guess, but there's always optimism when someone new comes in, and then it just feels like a few.
Now, isn't that the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result?
Mm-hmm. So, it sure is. And I don't see it changing.
Well, I don't know, Randy. I'm not. Listen, I just want all my Eagle people in here. I know there's I have a bunch. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that this is going to lead anywhere. It's just like a crawl before you can walk. This is a crawl before you can walk situation. Not that I don't think Dallas is talented, but Dallas has a lot of needs. I made a bet with Drew. I may be losing that bet. I still think we got talent. It all depends what we do in this draft. I mean, and how we hit. And if we should get Deion, in my opinion, then
Thomas.
If we get Deion, we're going to be bigger players in this.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
He's not going to. I mean, listen. If he comes, he's going to have that conversation. Like Jerry, I'm not telling you to spend stupidly, but we're going to bring in players.
Well, let me ask you this: having said what you just said, I don't know why, but I believe everything that's going on is a moot point, and I believe that Kellen's going to end up getting this damn coaching job because I believe Jerry is just using Deion so that we talk about the Cowboys every day, just like he's always done. Now, if he goes a different way, if he goes like Deion or Aaron Glenn or somebody like that, then things will change. But if he goes with Kellen, it's going to stay the same because I heard Kellen, when he left, he wasn't on good terms with the owner.
Well,
Jerry.
exactly. Well, he wasn't on good terms because how basically he wasn't. And I got to come to Kellen's defense on this. And that's why I want to play the rest of this video because Troy talks about Ben Johnson and
right
about basically, listen, even quarterbacks are hard. You could be the best quarterback in college, right? You don't know how you're going to translate when you're the actual quarterback of an NFL team. Sometimes they can thrive, especially in a market like Dallas. Now, that also goes for your coordinators, Randy. It's like, not every coordinator can be a head coach. We can say whatever we want about Norv Turner. He was an unbelievable offensive coordinator.
He was.
But he wasn't a great head coach. I'm not saying he couldn't have been, but it didn't work out for him. And we see that a lot, right? Like, I got news for you. When you see Ben Johnson, I don't know how he leads men. I don't know how he leads 6'5", 330-pound beasts of a man, how he motivates him. He's 34 years old or something, probably a buck, 60, never played football. I mean, I understand you're smart and you could be a coordinator, but to lead men is a little different, which is why I really want Deion. He ain't calling the plays. It's more of a leader. It's a culture change. In saying that, I don't know that that's going to lead to nothing Super Bowl-ish. I'm not going there. I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it will. But we don't know how Kellen's going to be as a head coach. But
right.
It's just very. I mean, I'll let you guys talk, and then we'll get to the.
It depresses me because I got excited when we started talking about Deion, and then I came back to reality, thinking he's just using this situation to. I'd rather have Robert Saleh than freaking Kellen Moore.
I don't
Give me
think Jerry
solid.
would do that to Deion. I'm telling
I
you.
would hope not.
I don't think he would.
I would hope
I
not.
don't think he would. But Ed Werder, who's from Colorado, people, I just want everybody to understand. Ed Werder's, that's his hometown. That's his home beat. He's a national reporter, but he's from Colorado. He's on record. He came out today and said Deion's going to take the job if it's offered. So that goes to Randy's point, and I want to hear what Thomas has to say. Believe it or not, and all of Deion's boys are telling him, his buddies are saying, this is an opportunity. People say Dallas is a laughing stock. They are. People say Dallas is this, Dallas is that. Sean Payton knew exactly how that organization was run, yet wants to be a head coach in Dallas. He's come out and said everybody wants to coach the Cowboys. It's the
Did you hear the thing that came out today about McCarthy and Dak haven't been getting along?
Not at all.
What is true anymore?
Because you remember McCarthy came out and was complaining about, I think it was the Dak 11 interception. I don't know. There was a year where he had I think it was 11 interceptions, and he was blaming Dak on every little thing. And Dak was like, that it's all part of the Bobby Belt video that I'll do tomorrow.
Oh no, I think that's somebody. I think that's just somebody out there just throwing shade just to cover their ass.
Well, I don't know why this stuff's even coming out now. Just let it lay.
Well,
I don't know your new coach and move on.
That's my problem with it. That's my problem.
If you ask me, I don't pay that much of attention to it because everything is said and done now. It's all.
It's done.
It's time to move on.
It's done, but what it's doing is
it shows the organization is really messed up. If they're going to come out and play this Big Valley stuff, of course, you got to be old to know what I'm talking about. But Peyton plays, the soap opera type thing. It just gets to the point where you just get frustrated.
Harper Valley PTA.
and I just want Jerry to bring the right person in this time. I don't care who it is.
I know about the Berkeley family.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying, and that's what we're dealing with in Dallas now.
Bobby says, "Big Mike, you happy Chicago has a free cafeteria food?" Well, it is probably free. Only Dallas charges, but like what I was getting at was, I feel like this is coming out, which goes to Randy's point, to get ready for Kellen, is that it's starting to come out now. Well, Kellen got a raw deal because he was trying to run his offense. And Mike, even though he wasn't supposed to be calling plays, wanted to put his imprint on the offense. You can't do that. Do you remember when Dak, and I remember doing videos on this, Dak was struggling at times with McCarthy's offense, right? And you remember when McCarthy took the option routes out of the game plan? Now, the option routes... Yes,
they simplified it.
Yeah, but the option routes are the routes that you can hit home runs on, okay?
I know.
Those are the ones where the quarterback and receiver need to be on the same page. But a lot of Dak's big plays came on those option routes. And because there was a couple times where the receiver went one way, Dak went another way, it looks bad on Dak, right? Oh my God, Dak just threw a pick six. Well, it's easy if the receiver runs the wrong route, So McCarthy overcorrected, took those routes out of the offense, and Dak was not happy with it. And Dak actually came out and but either was Kellen, so I don't know. I just feel like they're greasing the skids for a possible Kellen, where I think they brought in Robert Saleh.
That's what I was fixing to say. I think he's coming back, and you know what? Who was really wrong here? You heard Aikman say on this video.
Yeah, I'll finish it, everybody. I just wanted to stop.
Yeah, Aikman said himself, you can send anybody you want here, but the way the organization's run, pretty much you're going to get the same results.
Yeah, it's going to top out at what you could possibly do. Now, Mark Hutchins says it's going to be Kellen, Witten, and Zimmer. Zimmer might retire, Mark Hutchins, which is why they brought in Robert Saleh. Don't kid yourself. Dallas has done this before. They interview you for the head coach and say, yes, would you be interested in D coordinator as a fallback? So it could be, it could be Zim. You may be right and bring back George Edwards and, but maybe they'll keep Al Harris here. I don't know. Probably not. But it'll be interesting.
With all this stuff that's coming out now, supposedly McCarthy this and Kellen that and everything else, why is this even being brought up now? It makes no sense to me. Just get your team together, get the men that want to play here to play together. Forget about what's going on. Bring a guy in here.
They're trying to make it seem like they know what they're doing. They're
that's
leaking
exactly
out
right. They're pulling
bad things. Now, make no mistake, Randy. These coaches have what they call an NDA in their contract. But it's when you're no longer here for a period of time, you cannot say anything negative. I'm almost positive that they have it in the.
I'll guarantee you they do.
So McCarthy can't respond to none of this.
Yeah,
so
they can't go out there and say too much because they'll get blackballed.
So let me finish the video and then we'll talk.
Okay.
A few years later, we're landing at the same spot. So what goes into that evaluation or what direction they might go, who that might be, what that might look like, if you guys have been covering it long enough, is anyone's guess.
Yeah, it is certainly a guessing game. You went through a couple of these. One, a very shocking coaching change in your career. Should a leader of a team be consulted as to who the next head coach would be? Were you ever consulted or at least talked to about what direction do you think we should go in?
Yeah, I had some conversations. I don't really remember exactly if I don't know that I had that much input. But I will say that, and I've said this before, I do think that Jerry values the opinion of the quarterback, and I think that
I don't see him losing.
He has always
I'm just saying if it does happen,
he's always wanted the quarterback to be on board with the decisions that are being made. So I would be surprised if Dak isn't involved in some of those conversations. Now ultimately, will Dak be the one who picks the head coach? No. Was I? No.
Just waiting to take the job.
Was Tony Romo?
That's the reason why I say
that. I don't think so. I doubt it. So. But I do. That's not totally unusual. I think it's fairly common, especially if you're talking about a franchise quarterback, which Dak is.
But I'm like,
and he's going to be there and invested in the organization.
I can hear
so that's that's part of it.
I'm playing a video right now.
There's a lot of different ways to go, and I'm asked a lot. I will say
right
that
now.
I've had a number of owners that have reached out to me over the years.
But Randy, I'm just saying
that I have an opportunity to talk to all of these candidates over the course of a year or a few years, and really kind of see them develop. So I typically have some thoughts on the various people that are up for a number of these jobs. And so I've been asked in recent years what I've thought about various people or what direction I would go, what would I look for if I was a general manager and hiring a coach. And I think that in today's league, in a perfect world, I would want a head coach that was calling the plays, someone like Kyle Shanahan, someone like Sean Payton. Mike McCarthy certainly was that guy, but I would want an offensive guy, and I'd want to be in love with the scheme and the offense that he was running. And then when you get beyond that, he has to be able to be the head coach. And if you've got a great offensive mind, but you don't feel that he would make a great head coach for the entire team, then I think you've got to go in a different direction. But ideally, I'd want a head coach that was calling the plays, that was – because you guys have probably heard me say this over the years, that I think offensive coordinator is the hardest job on the staff, calling plays. Everybody has an opinion. Rarely do you hear people criticize or go after the defensive coordinator on a given call. If they're struggling over a period of time, then you'll hear about it. But every person sitting on the couch, every owner, everybody in the organization, everybody on the team, everyone has an opinion on whether that was a good play call offensively or whether it was not. And so if you're a defensive coach, and even if you land, let's say for instance, Dan Campbell in Detroit, he's got Ben Johnson, who's done a great job. When Ben took over as the play caller, that's when really things started to ascend in Detroit, especially offensively. And now he leaves. Well, Dan's got to have a backup plan as far as who's going to replace him, and those guys are hard to find. They're really hard to find. So I would tell you it's easier to find a head coach than it is to find a great offensive coordinator, and that's why I'd want to go with an offensive guy. And for those guys, for those teams like San Francisco, like Denver, that have a play caller and a real head coach that everyone knows is in charge, they've got a real luxury.
It's our weekly football visit with Cowboys Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. You know Deion Sanders very well. His name was the first to come up for this opening. Nobody's sure if he's a serious candidate, but with Jerry and Deion, they will surprise you every once in a while.
Yeah.
Do you think he would be a fit here?
Well, I wouldn't bet against him. I absolutely would never bet against Deion. I've just seen it too many times, and I've said it when he took the Jackson State job. I was so proud of him for doing that, and it's one thing to coach your kids through Pop Warner, and then you do through middle school and high school, but to really put your reputation out there on the line and take on that Jackson State job, and then to do what he was able to do, and then go to Colorado and on a bigger stage and do what he's done there. I mean, he's proven that he's earned the opportunity. So if he lands the job in Dallas, if that ultimately is what happened, or if he goes somewhere else within the NFL or even in the college ranks, I mean, he's earned that opportunity. So whether it's a good fit or I don't know if I'd look at anyone and say it's necessarily a great fit. I just think there's a lot of hurdles, and so it may not be a great fit for anyone. But if Deion were to come on board, I think he'd be fantastic. I think he would relate exceptionally well to the locker room. It's amazing that for someone who's as far removed from having played, the reverence that these current players have for his career and what he was as a player. It's pretty remarkable, and it says a lot for him. So I think he'd be fantastic no matter where he is. And as you guys have heard me say, I'm a big fan, and I would never bet against him.
All right, so let's go over that. Basically, Thomas, you there, brother? I don't think he can. Here, oh, yeah. Yeah, well, no, I muted you because we were listening to something. If you're listening on your phone, you can't hear it. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear the Troy Aikman stuff? Basically, Aikman came out, and he's really good friends with Ben Johnson, but he also said he don't know that a guy like Ben Johnson can be a head coach. He don't know that he can't.
Right.
He don't know that he can. He don't know that he can't. But he was asked about Deion, and he said that that he would never bet against Deion. And I don't know who would bet against Deion. Now, to Drew's point in the chat, Deion wouldn't be. This is what I'll say. I'm not here to crap on your coach, Drew. He's very successful. I think that machine right now is very successful, but he gets credit for it. You can't take it away from him. Yeah, we heard all the stuff about the analytics and the Eagles front office having a role in game plans. Make no mistake, the reason why that team is doing what they're doing is because of the way Jalen's playing in the run game and the run game, the offensive line. It's not much that Sirianni's doing. Sirianni's staying out of the way. Basically what it is. And that's kind of what Deion would do, other than Deion's a motivator. You can't put Nick Sirianni and Deion in the same breath. Deion has been an all-star in baseball, got on a helicopter, played a playoff game for the Cowboys. It's a different, you know what I'm saying? It's a different situation. There's only one Deion Sanders. Don't ever count Deion out. Deion is a motivator. That's what I want as a head coach. Now, if it's not Deion, then who's it going to be? It's a big contrast between Deion and Kellen Moore. But that's what I'm afraid of, is what's going on is they're bringing up why Kellen was treated the way he was on his way out because of Mike McCarthy. And 105.3, the fan, is pushing that narrative. I'm not saying they want Kellen, but obviously Dak would love Kellen, right? Bring in Nussmeier back, is with the Eagles as the quarterback's coach. Bring him back. Bring Kellen back. It could work. It could work, but it's not nothing that any of us are going to be excited about. Are you going to be excited about it, Randy?
No. If they brought Deion back, I would. And the reason I say this is, like you said, Deion is a motivator. He was a superstar. He knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl. And he, as a coach, he took a 1-10 Jackson State team that hadn't won in a while and made them a winner. Then he went to Colorado, who hadn't won in 10 or 20 years, and he's made them more of a winner than they were. That's the kind of man we need in charge. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you give me him or you give me Aaron Glenn, somebody that's going to take charge, I believe.
I agree.
That's going to get respect from the players. Let's put it that way. The respect is a big part of football.
You know what it is? I like having ex-players who, if you can, listen, and I want to finish. There's only a minute and a half left. I'll finish it out before I'll finish the Troy video out. But basically, Troy's telling you that the best possible case, which you want as a head coach, is an offensive-minded guy who could also run a team simultaneously, which is not easy. Like a Sean Payton, like an Andy Reid. And Andy Reid used to, and Drew could attest to this. Andy Reid would get hammered all the time with his clock management. He kind of learned on the job with the Eagles. He was very successful, but it was when he went to the Chiefs that's when he got over the top as a head coach. If you could find that guy, great. If you could find that guy who's going to call the plays, be in charge of everything, like Sean Payton. We all gave him a hard time. Oh, I wouldn't give up this. I wouldn't give up that. Sean Payton's a great football coach.
He is.
I mean, we could say whatever we want. Everybody laughed at him when he said he wanted Bo Nix. He's the one that found a Tony Romo. They didn't even draft Tony Romo, Thomas. They got him as a free agent. And another team offered more. And the only reason why he came to Dallas was because of Sean Payton and his tie, at Eastern Illinois. That was the only reason.
Tony Romo had broke out because, Sean Payton was the quarterback there. And Tony Romo had broke all his records there.
It's already a circus, Drew. It's already a circus. At least we got a guy who is a leader in Deion. He's done it. Nobody can tell him how to do it or not do it because he's done it all. So, multiple Super Bowl winner. I don't know that. Hey, Thomas, did Deion win a ring in baseball with the Braves or the?
He won a national champion.
I don't know that he ever won a ring with the Braves.
Yeah. But again, this isn't about. We're not. Again, I'm not here to argue over wins and losses tonight. This is about a culture change for the Cowboys. In my opinion, we're either going to go with Deion Sanders, and he's going to bring a lot of veteran coaches. You're going to see Warren Sapp on the sidelines. You're going to see Mike Zimmer. You're going to see a lot of people that have NFL experience. It'll be interesting to see who would call plays because I know a lot of people don't like his offensive coordinator at Colorado. So that'll be interesting. Who am I thinking of, Thomas? Who's the offensive coordinator for Colorado right now?
I can't put my hand on it.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. I know who it is.
I can't put my hand on it because
put it in the chat if you guys know. But I'm going to finish this video. There's like 2 minutes left, and then we'll get back to it. And I actually have the Athletic pulled up, we could go over. They did a full. My man Dane Brugler did a full 2-round mock draft for every team, so that'll be fun. So just stay tuned. But let's listen to the rest of this real quick and finish this up.
From all these names, would you, if you were running this, would you wait until after the Super Bowl so you could truly talk to everybody?
Unless somebody just came in and just blew me away, I think you kind of owe it,
Jimbo,
to the organization and to the process of interviewing as many people as you can. I think I would, I would hate. Ben Johnson right now is the hottest coach that I'm hearing, and I've talked to him. I know him, and I think he's terrific as an offensive guy. You're always projecting with someone who's not been a head coach as far as what they're capable of doing, and everybody thinks, oh, this guy's going to be great, but it's like selecting a quarterback in the first round. You just don't know, and there's tons of examples of great offensive guys or great assistant coaches that haven't had much success as head coaches, and so, but if you were going through the interview process and you felt that, well, what I was going to say is if you're Jerry or you're the Cowboys or one of these teams and you hire somebody and I just think you'd kind of kick yourself for not having at least waited. Mm-hmm. And maybe you don't have an opportunity. I mean, maybe Ben Johnson has his own thoughts. Maybe, I don't know who his representatives are or who they're talking with in his camp. Maybe he's saying, no, Dallas isn't of interest. I'm just, that's hypothetical. I don't know, but I would want to, but time is of the essence for sure. There's a lot of assistant coaches scrambling right now for jobs, and the longer you wait, you're losing out on more than just a possible head coach.
All right, that's
well. Hold on to your.
There you go. That was the Deion Sanders. A Troy Aikman phone call. The longer you wait, is that good or bad? Thomas, do you think they should address this now or wait?
You need to dress it as quick as you can.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait, because if you wait,
now
I want to interview Dick, but I'm gonna hold back and I'm gonna wait a few minutes and come back to you. Shucks, you said that Dick done interviewed with Chicago and done got hired by Chicago.
I did, Daniel.
See what I'm doing with this? You need to interview Dick right now.
Jacob,
but I'm gonna say this.
Jacob, who's a top guy? That's my question. Who's a top guy, Jacob? Who's a top guy? Ben Johnson, who's never been a head coach in his career? And I would say to Drew Nick Sirianni wasn't a head coach until he took over for the Eagles. You got to give a guy a chance. We don't know. Deion's never coached in the NFL. He's been successful everywhere else he's gone. So I'm just saying we don't know that Kellen's going to be successful. Yeah, Robert Saleh. Okay, I
gotta say something about that, Brian. If Deion gets the job, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Aikman said, Mark Hudson, Aikman said he don't know that Ben will be successful. He just said it. He says there's no guarantees. But anyway, go ahead.
If Deion gets the job, don't be surprised if Jerry hired Robert Saleh to be the DC.
Yeah, if Zimmer decides that he's going to retire.
Yeah, he has.
He
had Zimmer hasn't said not one word.
Yeah,
that's what
think
makes
he would
me,
stay.
Yeah, I do too.
This is what I'll say is different, Linda. There's a different relationship with Deion and Jerry than anybody else. Deion basically helped bring a Super Bowl for Jerry. Jerry dropped $20 million in cash in a check in 1995 when nobody was spending that kind of money when he signed Deion Sanders. That was and they won that year. They won that Super Bowl. Nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that. So they have a lot of respect for each other, a lot of respect. And to hear Ed Werder say, and I'm not saying that bringing Deion is going to guarantee anything. I'm just saying, as a Cowboy fan, I'd rather go with a guy like Deion rather than an unknown guy, and especially a guy like Kellen Moore. But I think if it's up to me, it's going to be Deion. But Jerry's got to pull the trigger. What we're hearing is if he's offered, he's going to accept it. That's all. And it's very interesting to me because that's a far cry from what we thought.
And think about it, if they hire Deion, you think we talk about the Cowboys every day right now? They hire Deion, it's going to be all over the wire.
Jeanette,
all
how
the
are
time.
you? Yeah, I agree. I mean, I totally agree.
And I think that's another reason. I think that's another reason why, I think that's going to happen, because we all know Jerry, he loves notoriety and exposure. That will bring in so much exposure from one end of the coast to the other. That's going to bring in so much. Like I said, Jerry loves shit like that. And
yeah,
Jerry,
I don't know, Drew. I don't know. I don't know, brother. I'll be honest with you. I can't even give you a number. That bet's not looking good for me. I can tell you that, but I don't care. So I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Jerry, if that was to happen, Jerry would probably be somewhere on his yacht, probably drinking this Johnny Walker Blues, saying, I did. I told y'all bring in prime time. I told y'all bring him in. That'll be a big win for Jerry alone.
I'm just afraid that none of these players are going to listen to Kellen like they would Deion.
No, Kellen is not. He's a beta, man. He's a beta. Football players don't listen to betas. If you're not an alpha, you should out of luck. You're out of luck if you're not an alpha.
Andre
Kellen
Mosley, what's up, brother? Again, it's not really. I don't know how to say this because it's going to sound like I'm being defeatist. It's really not about winning. I mean, it is ultimately, but we need to reset, and the only a person that can reset is Deion. It'll be a circus, make no mistake, but I'd rather have a coach who's going to engage rather than let Jerry be the I'm tired of Jerry being the face of the Cowboys, if that makes any sense.
No, that's the perfect way to say it.
I'm tired of seeing an 82-year-old man, and I'm 53, and we're all getting older, right? You're 63, right? Or 64, Randy. It's like I want to see something new. Now, he's still going to do his press conferences, but everybody's going to be worried about what Deion has to say. I'm tired that we're talking like Mike McCarthy. He didn't want to give you anything. And now to find out, even in a way where I'm not happy how it's coming out, I'm the type of guy, if there's a problem, leak it. Somebody leak it and let's nip it in the bud so we can move on. We all get in arguments, but let's hash it out and move forward.
That's it.
But they didn't. They ate it. And McCarthy was now a problem for the last couple of years. Well, okay. This is why I had a problem. I understand that Sean Sharif and Bobby Bell, they can't grill McCarthy when he does his interview, but, it's just like hard to take it seriously at the same time, too, because we're going to you for inside stuff. We don't need to hear fluff. I mean, it's just a waste of my time is what it is. When we're hearing for 2 years, it's been ugly behind the scenes between Dak, between Mike, not straight on, but on and off. Mike McCarthy's had a problem with a lot of things. Well, Mike McCarthy coaching the Cowboys isn't for everybody. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton would love to coach the Cowboys, and he's aware of the situation. Bill Parcells, a Super Bowl winner, multiple Super Bowl winner, he even said, I loved coaching for the Cowboys. It was never a problem. They give you a say. You just, if you win, it could be great. So I'm just tired of Jerry Jones being in the forefront of everything. I know he's always going to, but if I have somebody else that I can believe, because I don't think Deion's going to come here and keep his mouth shut.
He's not.
Because Drew's right. It's going to get it could blow up. It could blow up, but he's going to tell you it's Deion. Deion's bigger than Jerry right now, as far as I'm concerned. Not bigger than the Cowboys, but as far as, the microphones are going to want to go in front of Deion. They're going to want to go to him and say, well, how come this happened, prime time? How come this happened? And he's going to give you more of an answer. So he's not going to be worried about it. He's not trying to sell tickets. Yeah, Coach Prime himself sells enough tickets. So, I think it'll be the right move. You need somebody big to handle it. This is why I like Sean Payton, because I think Sean Payton is that type of personality who could thrive in Dallas. And I think I'm going to still say at some point before this is over, Sean Payton will be the coach of the Cowboys. But, if Jerry wants to win, he's going to have to go outside of his comfort zone and stop listening to so many people that want comfortable and people that get along.
Well, that's what I like about Deion. If Deion is going to be the coach, he's going to be the coach. He's not going to be the offensive coordinator, not the defensive coordinator. He's going to be the coach, so he can oversee everything that needs to be overseen. Let the coordinators do what they do best.
Yeah, I agree with you. But all right, we're going to transition this live stream into we won't do a mock draft, but we'll just look at Dane. I really respect Dane Brugler. Believe me when I tell you, everybody, Dane Brugler, he does what they call a beast. I download it every year, and I use it during the draft show. I had it with me at the draft. Who would you rather have, Jerry or Steven? I'd rather have Jerry, Mark Hudson. Give me the devil I know. Well, you know what I mean? Steven scares the hell out of me. So that's why I'm hoping Mark Hudson, that's why I'm hoping he makes the move to Deion, because we all know Jerry's not going to be around forever. And then we're going to get what we're going to get. So let's go with a little something different. Let Thomas back in. But yeah, I'm going to share my screen and we'll go over this mock draft. And again, Dane Brugler, he works for The Athletic. He's the best of the best. Actual draft rooms have copies of his draft guides, and they use it. That was told to me. So obviously it's early, but what I'm gathering, Randy, is that a lot of teams aren't as high on these quarterbacks as what we assumed.
That's what I heard today too.
Yeah. That's what it seems like, and this guy's pretty good. But this is what they have, and we'll go over it a little bit. The Tennessee Titans will indeed, per Dane Brugler, go with Cam Ward. So I think Cam Ward is the best quarterback that's eligible to come out now. I mean, he's the most pro-ready. He's not perfect by any stretch. He makes a lot of mistakes, but he's got a gun. He's a prototypical guy. He's big. I don't know. What's your opinion on Cam Ward? Do you like him, Randy?
Oh yeah, he's also mobile. And he like you said, he's big. He's got a cannon of an arm. So yeah, you said it just right.
I mean, I like him, but it doesn't come without serious question marks.
Well, I think we both think that the quarterbacks aren't the greatest of players this year. Let's face it. I mean, I don't trust any of them right now.
Yeah, I think Drew Aller has a lot of Josh Allen in him, meaning he's going to be rough at times. Everybody, I think it was Mark Hudson, said he wasn't impressed with him in the playoff game. You are just drafting for traits. You see. I mean, Josh Allen was a wreck at times in college, at times, but you see what he's turned into. Well, Drew Aller, if he was at the combine and he was coming out, He may wow everybody with his athletic ability and his arm, but he's a wild card. Sometimes he throws it don't go where you want. But that's how Josh Allen was. It takes coaching. But he's not coming out. So you're stuck with Cam Ward, you're stuck with Shedeur Sanders, you're stuck with Milroe, and you're stuck with Jackson Dart. Who I really
He's
like.
going to go in the second round now, Brian.
I'm
early
thinking,
in the second round.
I'm thinking he goes to the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry,
That's
Jackson.
exactly right.
I'm sorry, Jackson. You're going to the Browns at the top of the second round.
Oh, man. Man. He's
Hey,
going
somebody
to
may trade up back in the first round
Siberia. All right. Well, they got Cleveland Browns taking Abdul Carter.
Great move.
So they're not going to jump for a quarterback. Why? Because they're going to get Jackson Dart at the top of the second. That's why.
Right.
Or they're going to trade back into the first and get him. They're not going to mess around. So, you know.
But, you know, the only issue, I think the only issue, Cam Ward, I think the only issue with Cam Ward would be is when he gets to the combine, there are going to be a lot of questions being asked. And the main question they're going to ask is what happened in the bowl game they played in, because there are rumors saying that he quit on the team in the bowl game.
Right.
They're gonna want some answers. They're gonna want some answers about that.
I agree with you, but again, you know how it works, Thomas. Everybody needs quarterbacks. He's gonna go. They'll deal with that. They'll deal with it. So,
it'll be dealt with and solved. So
yeah. And it's funny because me and Randy were talking. We've been doing this, and there's guys. I just briefly looked at this list. There's guys that are coming ahead of Dallas that we hadn't talked about, Randy. And this is what the real scouts know these guys, and us, whatever you want to call it, scouts on the part-time scouts. We're gonna now, we're gonna learn about it. But they got the Giants going Travis Hunter.
That's a good move.
Now,
that's a good move. And
so what? All right. So what does that mean then for the Giants as far as quarterback?
They're going to probably go out and get. They're going to go out and get one of these other quarterbacks that's free agents.
I mean,
for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figure. Or either they're going to be the team to trade back up in the first round and grab Dart.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing is they like Dart a lot. And think about it. You put Travis Hunter on one side and you put Neighbors on the other side. All of a sudden, you got a freaking tandem of wide receivers.
I brought this guy's name up, and I think he's going to go higher than a lot of people think. And I know a lot of people go, oh, my God, he's like horrible at times. Riley Leonard is going to be a very sought-after quarterback. He's 6'5" and a half. When he gets to the combine, his athleticism is ridiculous. His arm is good.
Not only that,
he just needs coaching.
Not only that, don't let him have a good game Monday night.
Well,
that'll just add to the want of him.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he does. So
I do too.
So that only helps out everybody else. You get him in the top 10.
His stock will shoot straight. His stock will shoot straight high if you have a good. If you have a good game Monday night against Ohio State.
Yeah, so there is the quarterback prospects. It's just they're not those guys where you plug and play right away, in my opinion. You need to go out, you have a Drew Lock if you're the Giants and you go get a guy like, if Drew Aller was there, I would love for this kid to come out. That would help out the Cowboys, but it would also help out a team like the Giants. I think that would be a great pick for them, but whatever. I feel bad that he's not coming out, but maybe he'll change his mind. But yeah, they got Travis Hunter going number 3. I don't know if he's playing wide receiver or corner primarily. Not real sure how that's going to work, but hell of a talent. It's hard.
He is.
It's hard to argue it. And then
they got a good pick for a Giants.
And this makes perfect sense. Ted McMillan to go into the Patriots. To hook up with Drake May. That's a great. I think that's where he's going. I think that makes the most sense, don't you?
Yeah, I do too. They need receivers. They need some playmakers.
And now, number 5, they got Will Johnson. Now,
Just can't.
I know. I mean, I hear
I'm
you.
just not high on Will Johnson.
I know. And that's what he says. Personally, I think this is too early for Johnson, but that will be the case for several prospects in this year's first round.
He's saying that it's weaker this year.
Yeah, it's just that type of draft. It's like, okay, what do we need? There's not, they're all around the same, and there's going to be names go, what? But it is what it is. Dane says, I really do like Johnson's eyes, feet, and coverage IQ to match the plays on the ball. He has a starter caliber skill set and would upgrade the Jaguars' outside corner spot as a rookie. So, okay. I mean, I'm hoping that's true. We need him to go there. So that would be great. That'll drop somebody else down. Raiders get Shedeur Sanders, which I think is a perfect spot for the kid.
Perfect spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be a perfect spot. That'd be a perfect spot for Shedeur.
His persona fits the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been saying that'd be a perfect spot, just in case it happened. He'll be close to his daddy if he was to take the Dallas job.
Now, let me ask you this: how much would it cost us to get from 12 to 6?
You're going to pay at least.
Drops to 6.
Don't laugh if Deion is
right.
the
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to try something. I mean,
brought that up for a reason.
And I'm going to tell you something else too. Then that's when they're going to have to go to Dak and say, either we'll play you this 1 year and then we're going to let you go, or we can work a trade out to wherever you want to go right now.
Right, but yeah, I don't know if we can afford that. I don't
know.
Yeah, meaning on the cap wise, I don't
right.
think
I know what you're saying.
It would have to be next year.
It would be next year.
He's our long term. We're not, but I'm not saying that's happening. But if he makes it to 6, I think he goes to the Raiders and it's over. So, and that's fine. I just don't know now that. I mean, I don't know. Am I the only one that feels this way? That Tom Brady is not going to want to go with a Shedeur Sanders?
Tom Brady, he's building things the right way there.
I'm thinking he's looking at a guy like a Drew Aller if he was in a draft, or a Riley Leonard. Let's not forget, Tom Brady was drafted what round? 5, Thomas?
6 round.
6 round?
Yeah.
6. He was almost a Mr. Irrelevant.
So let me just tell you, I don't know that Shedeur goes to the Raiders. I think they may pass on him and go with somebody else.
I think they're going to go with Genty.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what, Randy, that has been somewhere up in my mind all this long time, but I never didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get no reaction from the panel. I didn't want to get. I didn't want to.
That's why we're doing it.
He's the top 2 or 3 talent in the draft. Yeah. I mean, you have to think about him, and I don't think he's going to get out of the top 10 anyway.
Because
and if he is, I see us dropping down a few spots and somebody coming up to get him. That's what I think.
Well, wait till you see this mock, because it's pretty impressive how you're going to laugh. And Dane's on top of it, Randy. So I'm not saying it's going to go like this, but he nails a lot of this. But yeah, so just keep that in mind, that the Raiders go in a different direction here and not a Shedeur Sanders. Hey, what's up, Danny's Cowboys Nation in the house? Okay. Just keep that in the back of your mind, that if the Raiders don't go with Shedeur, where does he go? But New
Orleans,
New York Jets draft Mason Graham.
That's sensible.
It said the Jets are another team that feels in limbo because of the question marks at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, is coming back for another year. They've invested a lot of money with Devontae Adams. They're going to try and bring the band back again. Not that they won't go for, with a young quarterback. They very well possibly will, but they're going to have Aaron next year. So. I think.
You know what, Brian?
Yeah,
I can see. I don't mean to say what I'm about ready to say, but I can see New York getting somebody like Aller next year for Aaron Rodgers' replacement, because he looked like he looked like
he
looked like New York type of quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm
So
just
Mason
saying.
Graham is gone at 7. Carolina, and I like this pick because it's not somebody that we would want, but I think his stock will rise. Jalon Walker, edge out of Georgia.
I knew his stock was going to
It's
rise.
going to
He's the
rise.
prototypical edge.
But he's kind of a smaller guy.
He is.
He don't work with Mike for me. So
no, but you put a little weight on him, he's going to be a star in the making. I like that pick for them.
Yeah. Now this is what Dane said. Georgia linebacker Jalon Walker didn't have a sack in the box score, but he lived in the Kentucky backfield for 8 pressures, and he goes on to show you a lot of tape. But he's a native of North Carolina as well. Walker has the talent and mentality that fit what the Panthers are trying to build. So that would help Dallas big time if Jalon Walker indeed goes there. Yes. Malachi Starks, safety, Georgia. Now let's just hypothesize here. Who's the New Orleans Saints as a quarterback? David Carr, right? What's his contract like? Do we even know?
I don't know if he's even under contract for this year or not.
Would they take Shedeur, New Orleans? I mean,
that's what I was saying earlier. I think if he's there, they'll take him. At that point in time, why not risk it then?
Malachi Starks is really good. Remember, like when they won, they had the ex-Eagle safety. Put in the comments, any Eagle fans that are in here, who was the Eagle safety that went to New Orleans and won a Super Bowl? Yeah. Or no, he came from New Orleans that went back to New Orleans. I can't think of his name, but yeah, that's what
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's who Malachi Starks reminds me of. Who was that safety that was in New Orleans and came to the Eagles? Malcolm Jenkins. Thanks,
Jenkins. That's it.
That's who Malachi Starks reminds me of. What's that?
Yeah, Brian, he's a Buckeye. He's from Ohio State.
Yes,
All American.
that's what I said. He reminds me of Malachi Starks. Malachi reminds me of Malcolm Jenkins. So I could see this pick here.
He's a cute.
I don't know that the Saints take Shedeur Sanders. You know,
Boy.
I'm just telling you because let's put it this way. The phone's going to be ringing. Let's say Deion's in Dallas. This could all be moot. Like if Deion's in Dallas and they're at pick 9,
then we'll go get him.
Well, I mean,
it makes sense.
Deion ain't going to stop. He's going to say, I'll have Dak. Dak can be my starter. And what better thing to do than let your son have multiple years as a backup? And Dak, they're already saying, I was watching something today, guys, that they were saying that Dak will never be the same planting on that foot. He'll never have the power on his ball. The ball's going to float because of the hamstring tearing off the bone, yada, yada. That was from a doctor. So I don't know if that's true, if it's not true. But all I'm saying is if he gets to 9, you're not talking, but a 3rd-round pick to move up to get him at that point?
Yeah,
that's
because you're only going up 3 spots.
We traded with the Eagles and got their 3rd from going from 9 to 11. So maybe a 3rd and a 3 and a 5, maybe. Maybe we got to overpay. 3 and a comp 5. Interesting,
Brian,
isn't it? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is. That is interesting because I didn't think about that.
Yeah, man, from this watered down Dr. Sanders, since he said that.
Really?
Teams are less likely to take chances on quarterbacks this year because they're not a strong class.
No, the one who said Deion's body is falling off of. I mean, Dak's body is falling off.
Yeah.
Doctor's watered down.
Now, this next guy, Randy, you're not going to be surprised. And here he is. Chicago Bears, Josh Simmons.
I told you,
tackle,
he's
Ohio
a top
State.
5 pick. He's a top 5 pick.
And this is a guy, Dame Brugler, who knows what he's talking about. He's picking for the team. He's not picking for what he wants and trying to place his player there. He's really forecasting, not 99 days away from the draft, what he thinks is going to happen. Obviously, it's not going to happen exactly like this, but again, He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's a riser, and this guy is the best offensive tackle out there this year. If he's checked out perfect, he could actually climb further than this.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's a perfect spot for him.
I do too, and that's good for Chicago because they got that new quarterback,
McCarthy
and
would be on
McCarthy's
board
going to
with
like it
protecting
too.
him. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be that's the perfect pick because
That is.
Chicago don't need outside weapons. You can get plenty of running backs in this draft. They have running backs, but you can get more. They have who's the cornerback? Jalen something,
For
but
who?
he's
David
like
Johnson.
he's like the best corner in the league this year.
Mhm.
You could use defense. I get it, but Josh Simmons, you need to protect your young investment in your quarterback, and I think Josh Simmons is a perfect pick for the Bears. So
I do too.
and that's fine. It is what it is. Me personally, I don't think I'm okay with a guard at some point, or
Mhm.
I don't know. I really thought that Terrence Steele's not going anywhere. He really turned it
No.
on this year. He really had a good year after the first few games. So I think everybody's a little overboard with how Terrence Steele from last year. That's not the guy who was playing this year. He was
Well, you got to figure it took him a whole year to get well. I mean,
remember he
you
came
don't
back
just come
real
back from that
early
stuff.
last year from that
Yeah.
ACL. So
Yeah.
he ended up the last 9 games of the year playing at a high level. So, I'm not so quick to pull him out of there. But
And I don't think they are either.
now this next guy has been rising up the charts. He's one of Dame Brugler's guy. Armand Membao, offensive tackle guard out of Georgia. And and this is a guy, like you said, like looking at the offensive line, there's always guys that rise because that's such a vital position, and based on the players expected to be available in this range, there's a decent chance the 49ers use this pick to address their trenches. They need to. Trent Williams is all but gone, people. Either on the offensive line or the defensive line. Membao is incredibly underrated, but he plays with exceptional control, athleticism, and finish. He would give San Francisco an ascending player with a guard tackle versatility. Again, think about it. What do they need? Do they need a running back? No. Do they need a receiver? No. Do they need a quarterback? No. Do they need a linebacker? Okay, but not at this spot in the draft. This is a very likely spot to go here or something on the defensive line. That's what they're going to do. They're going to. So I could see this or something like this, or a Josh Simmons here if he drops.
Yes,
that's
I
probably
could
what
see
they're
that
hoping,
too.
honestly.
I agree. I think that Josh Simmons, if Bears don't get him, they're going to get him.
Yeah, Niners, Drew. I would normally say yeah, but I don't believe so. They got Isaac Guerendo, who just had an unbelievable year in the absence of McCaffrey, who signed a long-term deal. They're stacked at running back.
They got that other
Yeah,
good
but I
running
will
back
say
too.
this.
Yes, Taylor, I think his name was.
Yeah, Guerendo.
Yeah, but they have Guerendo, they have McCaffrey, and then they have Ike. I don't know what his name is, but they have another guy that's really good.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Marshall. Is it Marshall? Anyway, I do think there is a chance that San Francisco does take Genty, and the reason I say that is their main running back. You said his name. Their main running back.
Yeah.
He got hurt this year,
Yeah.
and they don't know if he's even coming back. And then Guerendo at the end of the year got hurt.
Yeah.
So
they could, but I think more than likely they're a team who won't draft a running back high. They got Guerendo late. They'll get somebody else late. They will hit up either the offense or defensive line.
well, as stacked as the running backs are this year,
Yeah.
is that he may move down the board a little bit in the first round,
Yeah.
even past us.
Yeah. Well, now, you know who's on the board. Genty's there for us, right? I'm on
Right.
board, but I'd rather not take Genty with
Me
all the
too.
running backs in the draft. Let
Me
somebody
too.
else take Genty. They go with Dallas Cowboys select Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Missouri. Cowboys have to find more answers in the passing game. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, Burden is an explosive threat at all 3 levels, but his best work with the balls in his hand. He reminds you of a Debo Samuel, like just a tough football player, and I'm okay with that. Now, in this scenario, I would be willing to look at trade down options.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
You know,
you got Burden, you got Ibuka, you got
you got Banks,
Golden,
you got Golden, you got.
I mean, you got a lot of players to pick from.
Yeah. So even if you drop down just a few to dangle that Genty, that's when you go to the guy, the team, and go, okay, well, they're not going to tell you who they're taking necessarily, but if you tell them, all right, is it offense or defense? If it's offense, then you got to say, okay, well, you need to give me a conference. You ain't taking this guy, are you? Because that's who we're looking at.
And somebody's going to be willing to pay a lot if they want him bad enough.
Yeah, Daniel, that's what we're talking about. So yeah, but they have him. This is obviously with no trades. Dallas taking Luther Burden, and the more I've flip flopped so many times that I'm sure I'll flip flop again. Luther Burden is the more explosive player than Genty. I mean, than
Ibuka.
Yeah. So I would be fine with it. I really would.
I would too.
I'm not going to argue it. Miami Dolphins at 13. Will Campbell, offensive tackle, guard LSU, and that's fine. That's a solid pick. I mean, just remember we're getting to the point now where not many people have more than 15 first-round graded players, so you're basically taking a second-round talent. So, Indianapolis Colts. I don't know who said it the other day. Maybe Drew. Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State.
I knew it.
That's a Dallas Clark if I've ever.
Exactly. That's what I said.
I know somebody said
it.
Yeah. This pairing is going to be popular throughout the process, and it's easy to see why. Warren will have testing numbers that general manager Chris Ballard covets, and he is NFL ready and quarterback friendly. Exactly the combo that the Colts should be targeting to help Anthony Richardson. I love the player. I think I got Ultra Cowboy he's big on to Tyler Warren now. I like Loveland too out of Michigan, but there's something about Tyler Warren that I like his attitude. So he's kind of a nasty dude. So
he's got the mean streak.
Yeah. So they got him, and he's a perfect fit for the Colts. So I'm cool with it. 15, you got Atlanta Falcons take D lineman Shamar Stewart. It's interesting. They're the one that took Dallas Turner last year, and he was kind of he didn't have a good year.
Nope.
And we were talking about
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, we were talking about it last year, and I'm like, yeah,
I remember that.
I'm not a big fan of Dallas Turner. I think he could drop. Well, he didn't drop. Atlanta took him. I think Atlanta had 2 first-round picks.
They picked him at number 12.
Yeah. Well, remember they had 8 and 12 or something, and they took the running back.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bijan,
and then they came back and took.
That's right.
Turner, and then they took Penix in the second round, or they traded back up or something. Yeah. Atlanta won the draft on paper last year. They got him taking this defensive lineman that I think I drafted for the Eagles. I don't know, like a couple days ago, just because he's a big dude. He's 6'6", 285. He's a 285 pound, but he's not an edge guy. He's more of a
tackle.
Yeah, he's an interior player, but I don't really care for the player. But he's a big dude. So, and then they got Derek Harmon, which is a little high for me, but Arizona Derek Harmon. Defensive tackle, Oregon. Very, very quick feet, strength. So that's a good pick. Arizona needs another guy like that. Arizona has skill positions. They just re-signed the running back. They got, they just drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. They have, I think they need to worry about their defense. So that was good. There's not many offensive linemen in the draft. That's fine. Cincinnati Bengals, they go get Michael Williams, edge out of Georgia. Now, I would see maybe Egbuka here, but
it depends on if T. Higgins leaves or stays.
Right. Well, that's it. Right. Exactly.
And my other thing is I can see them taking Banks right here.
Or Banks. Yep. You're right
Because
there. I
he
like
was-
Banks here.
Yeah, they need offensive linemen bad.
Yeah, because Cincinnati's got what, Hendricks?
Yeah,
So
Hendricks. They've got a few defensive players
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
And he goes on to say, last year the Bengals drafted a Toolsy offensive lineman from Georgia in the first round, Amarius Mims, who I liked but was real big, and he's a big dude. They flipped to the other side of the ball and do it again in this mock. Williams looked like a future top 10 pick as a freshman, but he didn't quite reach dominant status over his 3 years in Georgia.
He's another one that really don't impress me a ton.
Michael Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those Georgia guys do that, and you don't know whether to believe, you don't know what to think. Are they really good, or are they just playing with a bunch of all-stars and you know what I mean?
That's it. You don't know.
Yeah. Well, if Cincinnati does that, then a Kelvin Banks goes to Seattle with the 18th pick, which is...
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, that's smart. So 19th pick, Tampa Bay gets James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee. The main reason why the Buccaneers fell short. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Give us your scouting report. That's right. You're a local guy there.
Pierce, cornerback, Tennessee.
No,
He's
an
edge.
He's a big play edge rusher.
Tell us again.
No, Tennessee just had they just had the top cornerback to leave yesterday.
Yeah, this is James Pierce, edge rusher.
He's a good player. I like him better than I do Michael Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but James Pierce, he's a big play defensive end. He can be aggressive at times. But if you need a defensive end to make a key sack or whatever in a certain situation, he's your guy.
Right.
He's more of a situational player than anything else.
Number 20, Ashton Genty goes to the Denver Broncos. And said, should Genty fall this far? Of course not. But if Dallas decides to pass, there aren't many obvious landing spots for him in the top 18.
Brian,
Yes.
do you do mock drafts?
Yeah. Yes. I'm going to wait a little bit before I do any more. I need to get my act together. But yeah, I do. Genty this far, of course not. But if Dallas decides to pass, there aren't many obvious landing spots for him in the top 18. From Boise State to Denver Broncos, Genty would add another level to Sean Payton's offense to help Bo Nix. That would be interesting. Now, my question to you, Randy, is we're sitting there at 12. Would you drop down to 20 if they want to trade?
Yeah, but I'll tell
is
you
that
why.
too far?
I'll tell you why. They're going to have to pay, meaning they're going to have to give me maybe a second and a third or a second and a fourth. And at worst, you're going to get Golden out of it.
Exactly. This is why I brought this up. You trade down with Denver if they want him. He could jump up to lock up their guy.
And you're going to get your
right now on the board, Randy, is Igbuka and Golden. Both of them are still on the board.
And we would get one of them right here.
So this isn't my mock. This is somebody that I trust, that I use their material all the time. So this is exciting. And this is why I was saying when these other guys become in the mix.
If
you know what I mean, ahead of us,
kick up ahead of us,
yes,
that we don't expect, means that people above us are going to drop down to us.
Which is why I'm excited about it, because I would say, all right, Denver, well, come get your guy. They got a relationship with him. Come get your guy. Whether they would or not, I don't know, but I would at least explore the opportunity, because
I would too.
Because at 21. Ohio State receiver goes to the Steelers, which makes perfect sense. And Emeka Egbuka goes at 21. So,
I could see that because what's the name? I forgot his name. The wide receiver for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the one that's always got his head out of the game.
Yeah,
Pickett.
rumor
I
has
got
it
you,
that
Woke. I got
rumor
you.
has it that he's gonna be on the trading block anyway. So I
Pickett.
can see that.
Or is it Pickett or is it something like
Pickens.
that?
Pickens.
Pickens, that's
Yeah,
it.
George Pickens.
Yeah, his head's not always in the game.
And I think a lot of that have to do with maybe he may be with the wrong team.
Yeah, right.
Well, Pittsburgh may be changing coaches here pretty soon, the way things I'm hearing right now.
What's up, Serotonin Cowboy?
And then plus, it's frustrating because Pittsburgh they haven't been doing quite good at wide receiver in the last 10 to 15 years. And all of that goes back to Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You remember.
And the other thing, Brian, if we're trading with Denver and just say, for instance, Banks drops down, you have to think about drafting him too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like under this scenario,
we would win. We would get our fourth round pick back.
I mean, think about it. We trade, and if we drop to 20, you saw that Genti was there. Obviously, we're assuming now. Maybe Denver's going up to get somebody else. Regardless, in this scenario, you have Genti, Egbuka goes at 21, and then at 22, Loveland, Colston Loveland, the other tight end out of Michigan. That's not somebody that we would draft, I don't believe.
No.
But it makes sense for the Chargers, ex-Michigan head coach in Harbaugh. Makes a lot of sense. It really does make a lot of sense. And then you go to 23, Tyleik Williams, big defensive tackle out of Ohio State. He's on the board, Randy. So, again, if things didn't work out,
him.
You're still looking at a Tyleik Williams, a Emeka Egbuka, a Golden. And I don't know if you watched. I watched. I mean, I'm not going to be mean, but I don't really like his style sometimes. But I did hear Vach and Brian Broaddus talk, and Golden is shooting up the draft boards.
Yeah, he is.
Now Golden is right behind Egbuka. So, which is, it's funny because we were watching him going, this guy is just, all he does is make plays. And then the more you watch his tape, the more you go, okay, he's the real deal. He's a first-round draft pick.
He's rising and Bond is dropping.
Yeah. Well, if you can't stay, the old...
Got to stay healthy.
Yeah, like the old line, you can't make the club if you're always in the tub. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they got Minnesota Vikings taking Caleb Johnson, running back out of Iowa. Perfect fit. Like when I think of Vikings, I think of Robert Smith. I think of Caleb Johnson. I don't know. It's just like a fit to me. It just makes sense. Aaron Jones, is that his name? Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is only a one-year deal. He's probably not going to be back. Maybe he will, but he's a free agent. He's older. Go get you a young one. Like that's makes a lot of sense there. The 25, Tyler Booker. He's another guy that if you drop to 20,
he's a mean guy.
I really like him. So
I do too.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have a problem.
I think I would take Booker over Golden. I don't know. That would be a tough one. That would be a tough one.
Call.
But I mean,
the guy that you're talking about right now, Booker.
Yeah,
he's going to fit right in Zach Martin's spot.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
10 years.
See, that's what we need. We need some. We need some mean alphas on our old line.
That's it.
We need one more mean one.
Yes.
I mean, listen. I'm not. Again, I know Ultra gets mad when he sees me drafting an offensive line in the first round. I'm not looking for offensive line. I'm sticking to my board. I'm sticking to my board. So if it's Golden there, I might take Golden. But regardless, you have a talented player to choose. And at the end of the day, when you look back 3 years down the road, you don't care what you take. You just want a talented player. I don't know much about this guy. Rams at 26 take Josh Connerly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon.
He's another very good. He's going to play guard, but
Is
he's
he?
a
Okay.
he's a very good. Another one of them good guards that's he's rising too.
Yeah. So I mean, that makes sense. You're talking about second round talent. Now we're getting into the range where Dallas has been drafting the last 3 years, where you get to this point and you start to take risks. Mozzie Smith, you start to take risks. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you go for scheme fit, sometimes you don't. So we'll see. But 27, of course, the Washington Commanders get Mike Green, who I love out of Marshall.
Oh man, see, Dallas likes him too. I know Dallas.
Really,
likes
you
him.
think? Well,
Yes.
see, that's the
I've
problem,
heard
though,
that.
Randy. It all depends who our coach is.
I know,
I know, Ron. There's only 15 players. I know, buddy. But this is just a name to watch, everybody. I saw a mock where the Eagles get Mike Green. So Eagle
I was going
fans,
to say that's
just keep
what
an
you
eye
want.
out of Mike Green. He's an edge rusher who is dominant out of Marshall.
He's the guy that the Philly needs to trade up and get.
I think he would be
really,
perfect.
I do too.
For the Eagles, but Dan Quinn ain't dumb. So, God forbid this happens and the Eagles lose and Washington wins. You would have a chance at Mike Green. But Mike Green he's just an explosive dude. Raw.
The 49ers also like him too, by the way.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. So Mike Green I like out of Marshall. He goes to the Commandos. Let's see here. Baltimore Ravens, Donovan Jackson, offensive tackle guard out of Ohio State. Again, you're at the end of the first round. You're looking at.
Hold on, is he the one that tore his ACL last year?
No, that was Josh Simmons. He's already off the board.
Oh, okay.
Donovan Jackson's another stud guard.
Yeah,
that's very good.
Ohio State is stacked. They should be
they
better
are.
than their record says they are, actually.
They should be.
Yeah. It's 29. This guy is kind of an interesting dude. You hear a lot of different things. Shavon Ravel Jr., a cornerback. He's a tall guy. Tall, big boy.
I think he's 6'3",
he's a big
or
boy.
something. Yeah, 200, something like that.
And I'm hearing that he's the best athlete amongst them. He suffered a
I'm
torn
hearing he's the
ACL in
best
September.
cover corner in the draft, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and I don't know. Name the last 6'3" corner that was that good. I'm not saying he can't be, but I just a little bit skeptical. So, but the Bills, I guess they trust the tape or whatever you want to say. They take them. Eagles take JT Tuimalau, edge out of Ohio State. They get their edge rusher. I like him. I do.
I do too.
I mean, it's funny because you don't know who's going to go between him and Jack Sawyer. Tuimalau.
I think he was I think he was something like I think he's been starting at Ohio State since day one.
Yeah, he's a great player.
I remember him way back in 2022. Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles take a JT Tuimalau with Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham moving on. Brandon Graham may come back, but you get it, Eagle fans. He's not long for the organization.
No,
Eagles will be looking for reinforcements on the edge. Tuimalau, 6'4", 270, is a smart, alert player who plays the run well. Also can get after the quarterback at 3. But basically, I would tell you this: his floor is high. Floor is very high. He's going to come in and not be a bust. He's going to be a very good player. I think he's bigger than Jack Sawyer. So for that, I like him better for the Eagles. He's more your prototypical. Jack Sawyer's kind of he's tall, but I don't think he's 270. So, that's a good pick for the Eagles. And then Kansas City gets Kenneth Grant. Of course they do, right? They
just get better.
Yeah, they just sit there at the end of the first round and take the best rated guys. 6'3", 340, stud in the middle. You know, you have what's his name, Jones, that's still on the team. You know, Chris Jones. That just he slides right in beautifully, and to help that defense. So that's a good pick. You know, we often thought that Grant may slide into the second round. In this scenario, he does not.
Yeah, I think he's too good of a player.
Yeah. And Nick Skirton or Skirton, everybody I talk to don't like the player, but this is a good spot for him because you're talking pick 32. So that's fine. Now you're going with a big dude who played well in college. That's fine. And we'll just quickly go through the second round, and we won't go as in depth. In this scenario, they have Cleveland taking an offensive tackle out of Minnesota, Ursary. They have the Giants taking Jalen Milroe. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
If they do that, that's a big mistake.
They got Tennessee Titans taking Jack Sawyer, which is, so those two offensive, Ohio State defensive ends are going to go relatively close to each other. Jacksonville takes guard Jonah. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Raiders get Omarion Hampton.
There you go. That's a good back.
New England gets Cameron Williams out of Texas.
There you go.
Chicago gets Wyatt Millam, center guard out of West Virginia. New Orleans takes Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. Golden goes 40 ahead of the Cowboys. Ouch. Chicago Bears, Landon Jackson, edge rusher, Arkansas.
There you go. That's a good one.
42. Nick Emanwari, the safety out of
South Carolina.
Yeah, he's good. San Francisco gets Walter Nolan. I know Jeff Kavanaugh loves him. Broadus, not as much. Very explosive player out of Ole Miss, though. Walter Nolan, defensive tackle. Cowboys get Travion Henderson, running back, Ohio State. So
Was
they
it
go,
Cowboy?
Yeah, so they go Luther Burden in the first round and Travion Henderson in the second round. I could see them doing that. I could definitely see them going in that direction. They need a run. They cannot do what they've been doing. Even if they keep Rico, you could get Henderson. Henderson is an explosive back. Indianapolis takes a cornerback, Thomas out of Florida State. Atlanta Falcons, Jahdae Barron, a corner out of Texas. I love that pick at 46. Arizona, edge out of Ole Miss. And I've seen a lot of people have mixed feelings about him. Miami Dolphins goes with the Bowling Green tight end. That's your guy, Randy.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's going to be good.
Yeah. Bengals go with Mbao, the offensive tackle guard out of Purdue. Seattle goes Deion Walker. He's an interesting dude. Deion Walker is Thomas. He is a beast.
He's a mountain of a man.
He's like ridiculous.
346.
Yeah, he is like 6'6", 6'7", 346. But his thing in college was he was a loafer.
He takes plays off.
He takes plays off. So if they can control this man and get him motivated, that could be a great pick. But it could also be just a big oafy guy who can't, won't ever amount to anything. I like this next guy. I like what Denver's doing. Denver sticks and takes Genty, and now they take Mason Taylor.
Their offense is going to be upgraded.
Think about that. Bo Nix, Mason Taylor, Ashton Genty. The rich get richer there. Pittsburgh takes a cornerback out of Kentucky. Let's see. Let's finish out the round here.
He's a lot like Lewis. Dallas likes him.
Maxwell Hairston. Okay.
Yes.
Tampa takes Schlesinger. I've been hearing a lot about him. This Carson Schlesinger.
Another riser.
Linebacker out of UCLA. He's not going to run the best, but he's a tackling machine. Kind of reminds you of the guy that was taken out of NC State last year who plays with the Steelers. that don't have an ACL.
I know who you're talking about because
yeah.
Dallas liked him.
Yeah, they did, but I can't think of his name.
He went too early.
He did, but he had a great year. So.
Oh no, I'm saying he went too early for Dallas to grab.
Oh yeah. Green Bay, Jordan Birch, edge, Oregon. The Chargers, they got Chargers taking 2 Michigan players, which makes sense. They got the old Michigan head coach, Josiah Stewart, edge rusher out of Michigan. Buffalo, edge rusher out of Boston College. Carolina, defensive tackle out of Texas, Alfred Collins. Houston Texans, Trey Harris, wide receiver, Ole Miss. I like Trey Harris. I do.
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens. This is a perfect fit. Jihad Campbell,
Yeah, it is.
linebacker, Alabama. That's like perfect.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Dallas draft him in the second round.
Yeah, and hold off on running back. I'm with you.
Till the third round.
Yep. Washington takes the Stanford wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Xavier Watts, safety, Notre Dame. I like him a lot. Buffalo.
Yep.
Eagles go with a guard center out of North Dakota State.
Zabel.
Yeah. Kansas City, Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. I like him. He's a 6'5", I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Detroit Lions, Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame.
This is another guy that's rising a lot too.
So that was it. I think that was a very...
That's a very good 2-round draft.
That was a very fun exercise. We'll keep visiting Dane Brugler and the Athletics. They're always on top of it. They are ahead of everybody, or at least Dane is. He's the man. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we've been going for, I've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. So it was fun hanging out with you guys.
Yep.
I did have the stream set up. I have to work on the Monday night. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning, but I have everything else up for Saturday. Both games.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I did last weekend and do separate live streams for each game. That way people can go in and just watch that game instead of having to fast forward through a whole, in 12 hours.
Who is the first game on Saturday, by the way?
I'll tell you.
Is it Houston and Kansas City?
Yes, it's Houston and Kansas City.
Yeah, I think Kansas City's going to blow them out.
I don't know, man.
I hope not, but
it's -8, and it's only 41.5. So I think it's going to be. I don't know. I think it'll be closer for at least for a while, anyway.
What is the weather like going to be in Kansas City Saturday?
I don't know. It's something we'll have to. Yeah, I don't know. I did. Oh, there you go. AccuWeather, 25 degrees at game time.
Oh, okay.
Sunny, or it's not sunny.
Okay, if it's sunny, then that's
no. Yeah, it'll start out sunny, but it'll be dark by halftime. But not even. The 8:00 game is great. I love how they did the schedule this weekend. It's Commanders at the Lions. It's Saturday night.
There you go.
We get a good NFC game instead of going AFC. So that's good. And then we got the Eagle game at 3:00. So it's not, we can
like that.
Yeah, it's not like early. We can get our shit done, and then
get grillings taken care of.
Right. And then we got 6:30 is the Ravens and Bills.
I like that too.
And Lamar Jackson is going to play in the coldest game he's ever played in. It's going to be 20 degrees at game time. And I'm rooting for the Bills. I'm just telling you now.
I am too. I'm rooting. I'm pulling for the Bills. I am too.
So it's one of those deals where I'll be upset if the Bills lose. I'm hoping that the Ravens get thwarted again. The Ravens are a tough team, but I don't know, man. I think it's tough to beat the Bills in Buffalo that time of year. I think if Josh Allen's going to do great things, now's the time, Josh. Now's the time. What do you think, Thomas?
Yeah, this is it.
I mean, who do you like in that game?
This is.
Is it in Buffalo? Is it in Buffalo?
Yeah, it's in Buffalo. Yes.
Buffalo is favored. They should come out They should come out with the win.
What is the weather like in Buffalo that night?
Yeah, it's going to be 20 to start.
It's gonna be right at 20.
But it's going to be dry.
Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like
Okay.
it.
Well, then I think that'll. Well, I don't know. That's going to be a hard game to pick.
I'm looking at it now. Let's see here. Yeah, it's going to be. There's going to be snow throughout the day, but no snow
during the game.
Yeah. So, but that's still tough. That's
that is tough. That's cold ass weather.
That's Derrick Henry weather. Yes.
So the winds might be blowing hard.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, it does look like there's a little wind. Yes, in Orchard Park. So
that don't bode
Eagle
well
game here. It's going to be 32. It's going to be freezing at 3:00 here. So, but I still can't believe Baltimore's a road favorite.
I can't either. I would have thought that would have been like a pick'em game.
I mean,
don't get me
they're playing great.
Don't get me wrong. The cold in Baltimore, it get cold, but that up in Buffalo, that's a whole different animal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different animal.
Well, the good thing is we're all good. I'm going to be streaming. We're getting down towards the end, so we're going to take advantage. We're going to stream all these games. So I'm looking forward to it. And then we get into the draft, but Dallas needs to get themselves a coach, everybody. I'm going to give them a good week. And then I don't want them to drag the shit out. They need to let Deion know whether he's a candidate or not and give him an interview. If not, then just, say you're not interested because you called him, Jerry. You called Deion. Now Ed Werder is telling you he would take the job. What do you, I mean, okay, the least is set up an interview. So, but anyway, that's it for me. That's it for us. Aisha, I think you're still there. Hope you have a good night. Thomas, nice seeing you. And Randy, thanks for coming in, brother. I'm off until Wednesday, so you might see one of these. Just make sure your bell notifications are on, everybody. We'll come on and just chat it up if I got time. If everybody can hit the like button on your way out, that would really help me. I would appreciate it.
Okay.
And go ahead, Thomas. Finish your thought, brother.
I didn't know you was on last night. I was, every morning I always catch you when you do your you do your morning video going to work, and I hit on that, and I was like, damn, he was on last night.
Thanks, Coyote. Yeah, man. I don't mind. I mean, I'm always being told do more live streams. They seem to like this, so I always like to bring in the Zoom call people. I like having a conversation if possible. I could still play my videos and do all that. So I appreciate everybody. Obviously, look out for my morning video tomorrow. I will get up and do a video. I will cover what we talked about with the whole what happened with Mike McCarthy and all that. So stay tuned. But all right, everybody, I will see everybody tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Have a good evening,
guys.
guys.
You too.
Ladies,
see
everybody.
See you.
Late.
So what's it going to be, Deion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Both.
Offense or defense?
Both.
Both?
Both.
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 Pizza Hut? Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both? Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our Lovers Line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Deion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
Don't miss any of the game. Call Pizza Hut and have your stuffed crust pizza delivered.
I don't care what it takes. You get me Deion.
Deion! Are you ready? I was born ready. Run, cowboy.
Dang, if I had 11 men like that, I could rule the world.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!